Welcome to practice. Let's come to find a comfortable seated position on our mat. Taking a nice tall spine, let's just start to drop into the breath. Taking inhales through the nose and exhales through the nose. And then let's start to bring our hands in front of heart center. We'll set an intention for our practice and start to weave that intention into your breath, feeling it through the depths of the body, into the skin, into the muscles. And then slowly start to connect to the breath, lowering your hands back down onto the knees. And we're going to start to arch through the spine, inhaling. So taking a form of cat-cow here. So inhale, arch your spine forward, and exhale, curl back, holding onto your knees, gaining some leverage here, and start to move and create speed and heat through the spine. So again, you can go as slow or as fast as you want here, but the idea is to slowly increase the speed as the spine starts to warm up. And just keep moving at your own pace and your own rhythm. Taking a few more here. Before we slowly start to return back into a neutral spine. So taking your last few here, again, adjust the spine, reach to the crown of the head. And then we're going to come into a twist. Let's place our right hand onto our left knee, left fingertips behind you, and bring your gaze back over your left shoulder. So taking your time here to find your sit bones and lengthen through the crown of the head, pulling up on the pelvic floor, drawing your belly button towards your spine. Then let's switch sides. Left hand onto your right knee, right fingertips behind you, and again, sitting up nice and tall and twist. Gaze back over your shoulder. So we're starting to warm up the body. This is a perfect practice early in the morning as we start to prepare for our meditation. So let's return back into a neutral spine, interlacing your hands and bring them above your head. So as you can see in the video, arms are bent, and we're going to start to move with a nice strong breath in and out through the nose. And if it feels okay, you're going to start to twist. So strong through the nose, strong through the exhales, twisting with your breath. And again, starting to create this healing action through the spine. So we're generating a ton of movement and just starting to really connect to the nervous system. Good, finding your pace that you can maintain for a few more here. Good. And then we will slowly start to slow down, finding neutral spine. Inhale, reach up, hold your breath, lengthen through the arms, straightening them, nice and close to your ears. Holding your breath as long as possible. And then when you can hold the breath no longer, you can exhale, lower your arms back down onto your knees. And just return to your rhythmic and consistent breath. So just slowing things down and start to rest into the sensations that you're feeling from this breath work and the movement into the spine. And then let's come forward into downward facing dog. So you want your heels to be coming and resting towards the wall. So a lot of these postures will be using the wall to create leverage and space in the body. So downward facing dog, spreading your fingers nice and wide, curling your sit bones up towards the ceiling. If you need a little more space, let's bring a slight bend into the knees and start to stack the spine. Good. And this is where the breath continues in and out through the nose. And then let's really ground down through your left leg and let's start to send our right leg up the wall. So toes are tucked under and you're pressing just as strongly down through your hands as you are with the foot against the wall. Again, keep your pelvis squared down to the mat. So curl that right hip down towards the mat and keep pushing equal weight into your hands. And then just watch how you can create more space by using the wall here. Good, let's exhale our right foot down and switch sides, reaching your left leg up towards the ceiling. Again, taking the first few breaths to find the balance, and then root through the floor and the wall. Seeing if you can really connect to the central channel line, pelvic floor through the crown of your head. Take one more breath here. And then exhale, let's come back into downward facing dog. Reestablishing your connection with the wall. And then we are going to bring our right foot in between our hands, dropping your back knee down onto the mat. And let's bring our hands up onto our hips once you're steady into the feet. So find your feet, hands onto your hips. Really ground them strongly into the lower back and start to lift out of the body. Good. So this is where we really connect to the central channel line. And if the body allows, let's interlace our hands behind our back and start to send our chest up towards the ceiling. Working your hands down your left leg. Finding expansion into the chest with every inhale. Good, let's unwind. You're going to bring your hands to the inside edge of that right foot and start to walk your right toes out. Pointing them out nice and wide. And then if you need to, you can either stand up on your fingertips or stay up on your fingertips here, or come down onto blocks with your forearms or straight down onto the mat. So just judging how it feels into that hip and how open you are here. Remember, this practice is all about finding the perfect postures to heal the body. So we're not looking to be forceful or really strong and pushing into the postures, but more of a gentle approach. Keep softening your shoulders onto your back as you find more space through your chest. And let's start to walk our hands back. Then we're going to start to inch our way back towards the wall so that our left shin bone is pressed strongly against the wall. So whatever way you need to get there, and then walk your right foot back. Hands can stay down onto the mat. Or for more leverage, let's place our right hand onto our knee. Left hand onto your hip and start to lift through the chest. Reach the crown of the head up and then breathe strongly into that left leg. So this posture is quite intense and quite deep. So just notice what comes up for you and notice where the mind likes to go. What are the tendencies of the mind? Noticing the patterns that it likes to go towards. Good, let's come into a twist. Let's bring our hands in front of our chest into prayer and cross your left elbow onto your right knee. Strongly ground through your hands so you can find leverage and lift through the pelvis. So we're always looking to create space. This starts at the pelvic floor, pulling up on the pelvic floor. Draw your belly button towards your spine and then lengthen through the spine. Good, and then let's release, making our way out of the posture and into downward facing dog. Good, just reset the body here. Finding your feet, finding your hands. And then we will work to switch sides. So step your left foot forward. First Anjaneyasana here. Your toes are tucked under and pushing strongly against the wall. Left hand onto your knee, right hand onto your hip. And if you're connected to your breath, it'll guide you where you need to go in the body to create more space and length in the posture. If you did so on the other side, let's interlace your hands behind your back and start to send them down your right leg. Opening up through the chest and coming out of the lower back. So really lifting and supporting by pulling up on the pelvic floor. Unwinding from the posture. Let's bring both hands to the inside edge of that left foot and start to walk your left foot out, pointing your toes out, and then either coming down into your forearms. You can stay up onto your fingertips, whatever feels good here in the body. And then just notice what that hip wants to do. See if you can release the hold around the hip, creating a little more space for the breath to go into that area of the body. Very good. Let's start to make our way out of the posture. And then once again, making our way closer back to the wall, sending our right shin bone up the wall, and keep walking your left foot back until you've established that connection, placing your left knee over your left ankle. And then let's come up. Left hand onto your knee, right hand onto your hip. Lengthen through the crown of the head. And then see if you can make that connection to that central channel line once again. Pulling up on the pelvic floor, perineum, drawing your belly button towards the spine, and then lengthening through the crown of the head. And with that central channel engaged, then you should be able to create softness around it. So softness maybe through the shoulders, through the forehead, through the jaw. Then let's come into our twists. Let's bring our hands in front of our chest into prayer and cross your right elbow onto your left knee, grounding strongly down here. And if you've lost the connection to the breath, just come back into it. Following this expansion and contraction into the body. Let's start to unwind from the posture, placing your hands back down onto the mat, giving yourself a little space before coming onto your hands and knees and then onto your sit bones. So let's place our heels strongly against the wall, even weight here. Place your hands behind your back and sit up nice and tall. You can feel free to stay here, or if you need a little more intensity in the posture, let's start to fold forward. Coming into a forward seated fold. So again, using the wall here, toes are strongly up the wall. You're using leverage here to create more lengthen in space. The inhale should always be creating more length in the body. And the exhale should always be grounding you down, strongly down into the mat, or whatever is touching the mat. So it is this perfect balance, creating support into the body. Start to sit up nice and tall, bringing your gaze up towards the ceiling, and release from the posture. Let's bring the sole of our left foot to the inside edge of our right leg. Start to open up nice and wide to the side wall. Having your blocks handy here. Right hand is going to come to the inside edge of your right foot. Left arm is going to grab your block, and the block goes against the wall, strongly pushing against the wall so that you can create that space in through the chest. Start to spin your chest up towards the ceiling. Taking your time here to really get into the proper position. Really dropping the mind into the body. So keep finding that consistent rhythmic breath and finding that space to connect into. We'll start to unwind, sit up nice and tall, and then let's switch sides. So left foot against the wall, right foot to the inside edge of your left leg. Once again, having your blocks handy. Left hand to the inside edge of your left leg. Right hand grabs your block, and the block pushes against the wall. Once again, gaze can be down at your toes or up towards the ceiling. Just noticing what micro adjustments you can make into the body to find a little more room, a little more space. There should be a very specific quality to your breath at this point in your practice. One more breath here. Then let's start to unwind. Bringing your legs straight out in front of you. And then let's bring the soles of our feet together, coming into butterfly posture. So a few options here. You can grab onto your ankles using your elbows as leverage, pushing your knees down, or start to walk your hands out in front of you. This should feel really good into the spine as we're creating a ton of space here. Bringing your gaze towards your belly button. And then just allowing the body to find length here. Keep walking your fingertips out in front of you. And if the mind is wandering, you just simply drop back into your breath over and over again until we've created a strong pattern and a new program into the body. Let's release. Bringing your knees together, let's wrap our arms around them, hugging them nice and tight, and bring your gaze towards your belly button, really curling through the spine strongly here. Finding that release through the spine and as well as through the hips. Bringing your gaze up, let's release. We're going to come into a back bend against the wall. So coming into Ustrasana or camel posture, let's walk our knees as close to the wall as possible. Pelvis is pushing towards the wall as well. Once you're steady here, hands can come onto your lower back and then start to bring your gaze up. So always lifting out of the lower back, finding that space before coming back. If you need a deeper variation, reach for your heels. Again, the wall is there to offer support and length. So you're pushing your pelvis strongly towards the wall as you open through the upper back. Breathing deep into the chest. Then slowly release from the posture, moving away from the wall a little bit so that you can drop your sit bones onto your heels, grabbing onto your knees and start to curl through the spine. And let's do one more, making your way back towards the wall. And when you're ready, moving into your depth of the posture. Understanding that we are starting to unwind blockages or certain areas in the body that are holding on to either something on a physical level or maybe on an emotional level. So just allowing the breath to go into these areas and do the unwinding. And then it's up to you to release it. And let's release. Moving away from the wall, sitting back onto your heels, and then curl through the spine. And then let's start to sit up nice and tall, sending both heels off to the side. And then we're going to start to work our way towards the wall, bringing our legs up. So you want your sit bones and your glutes as close to the wall as possible. So inching your way there slowly, and then just start to send your heels up. Arms by your side. You want to feel extremely grounded and supported here in this healing and restorative posture. Just allowing things to really settle back into the body. If there's areas of tension, see if you can send your breath there. Doing any releasing possible and letting go. Without overanalyzing the situation, just simply drop into the breath. Keeping up with the rhythm of breathing as it keeps softening the mind into the body, as it keeps pulling us into a deep relaxation. And then let's start to release from the posture, making a little space from the wall. Turning ourselves onto our mat so that we can come to bring our knees in towards our chest. Hugging them in nice and tight. Eventually rolling onto the right side of the body. Before making your way up to a comfortable seated position at the top of your mat. Taking as long as you need here to find this comfortable seat. Maybe sitting up onto a block or a bolster. And just preparing for our pranayama. So we will be working with breath of glow. So similar breath that we started with, except without the twist. So the breath is really strong in and out through the nose. And with your exhales, you are snapping your belly button towards your spine if the body allows. So we're interlacing our hands, bringing them above head. Elbows are bent, and then move with this really strong rhythmic breath. Again, the breath equal in and out through the nose, quite forceful. And on your exhales, drawing your belly button towards your spine. Good. And keep moving with your breath. If you need a break, you take a natural inhale and then you repeat. The rhythm of breath should sound something like this. But you want to find your own pace that you can maintain. Keep drawing the energy from the pelvic floor up through the crown of the head. Good. Then let's take a full inhale. Reach your arms above head. Hold the inhale. Keep holding your breath as long as possible. And then exhale, you can release your hands down onto your knees, softening into the body. Starting to feel the energy pulsating through the body. Just noticing the energetic and healing qualities of this breath. And settling into the natural rhythm of breath and allowing it to guide you into your meditation. Just watching as everything starts to settle deeper and deeper into the body. We rest into this deep central point in the body, right around the navel. And from this point, with your inhales, you can expand to the outer edges of the body. And with your exhales, return back into this central point. And just keep moving with this expansion and contraction that occurs with the breath. And any time the mind starts to wander, just gently nudge it back into this most central point in the body. Feeling the energy shifting from the lower centers all the way through to the crown of the head. As you become more light in the body, more expansive, and dropping into the healing qualities of the meditation. Keep moving with the rhythm of your breath. And keep grounding into a deeper state of relaxation. Moving beyond the self. Moving beyond any restrictions or patterns that are holding you back. Moving into the real depth of your meditation. Moving into the space that exists all around you. Very slowly, very gently, let's start to take 3 deep breaths back into the body. Noticing the quality of space that exists within you. Noticing how this space has shifted or taken on a different energy throughout your practice. Starting to draw your intention back into the breath, weaving it into the body, feeling a certain sensation and vibration throughout the body. Inhaling your hands in front of heart center, just taking a moment here. Thank you very much, everyone. Namaste.